I guess I'll just start with, was there any sense that you had going into this that something like today's action could take place?
No, we're in constant communication with ECS and all our supporter groups. We're talking weekly about this from a club, from a supporter, and from a league perspective. That being said, I didn't know, we didn't have any heads up that this was something that was coming, and so it was something that we were having conversations about in real time.
And what were the conversations? Obviously, the flag was flying for probably half an hour before it came down.
Yeah, look, this is one of the things that we said before. It's pretty complicated, and it's about constant dialogue. We have conversations with every individual who is exuding any behavior that's against the fan code of conduct. We communicate that we'd love to have them stay, and ultimately sometimes it's their choice whether they want to walk out or not, and that's an individual decision. And tonight, unfortunately, it ended with them leaving the stadium.
How much does that concern you, that an entire section of your most loyal supporters are willing to walk out over this flag issue?
Look, to me, it says that this is a really important conversation, right? It's not something that's isolated in Seattle. We saw it last month in Portland. We probably have all read about it in Atlanta and in Minnesota. So this is something that is really important to every single market and the league as a whole. There's actually a scheduled meeting next week between Major League Soccer and our supporter groups to continue to have this dialogue. We were a part of trying to facilitate that, because as much as we can have good and productive and honest and direct and sometimes tough conversations with our supporter groups, it's equally important that the league understands why this is such an important issue and why now of all these times. And I actually look forward to next week and the progress it's going to come from having productive and honest and face-to-face conversations.
When you say next week in MLS, is that in person then, or who is going to be a part of that, and what day? Yeah,
it's going to be on Thursday. It's going to be in Las Vegas after the Leagues Cup final, and it's between Major League Soccer and I know that ECS will be represented. I know that Grill FC will also be at the table. I believe that the Timbers Army will be there, and other representatives from the International Supporter Council.
Are there any sanctions for ECS as a group today, or for individual members as a result of the lockout?
Yeah, Stephen, we'll follow up afterwards to make sure that we're connecting with our service team and we're following the fan code of conduct, how it's been communicated to them in advance.
With the playoffs around the corner, how much does it worry that this could have an effect on maybe them investing in a playoff game or the last game of the season?
Look, I'm not going to speak on behalf of soccer, but from my own soccer background, every single point's important, right? You're fighting for playoff positioning, the right to get into playoffs, the right to host that playoffs. It's a new state of the union when it comes to postseason in Major League Soccer, and this is an important issue.
When was the last conversation before this happened today?
Put me on the spot. We spoke several times last week to make sure that we had all the logistics taken care of for our supporters to get to Las Vegas. We speak in advance of every single match because we have a set protocol in place to know who their leadership is on site. Yeah. So if any incident arises, that we know the right process of communication. Mm-hmm. So we had dozens of emails back and forth as early as this morning from their operations, their security, and their leadership teams.
But you knew nothing about what was going to happen today as far as them having the flag previously? Yeah.
Nope.
Are the Sounders going to be represented at this meeting in Vegas, or is it really the supporters in MLS?
This first step is about the opportunity for the supporters to have direct conversation with Major League Soccer. So we will not have club officials in the room with them.
Do you see the needle moving either way, as far as? Yeah, getting the flag back, or anybody understanding each other either way right now?
Look, I think that when there is productive conversation, that there's progress, right? And so we know exactly where ECS stands right now, and they know exactly, hopefully, where we stand from a value perspective. And we absolutely are fighting for the same values. And we talked about that about 6 weeks ago when the last time we spoke. Nothing's changed on that front. The only thing that's changed is that this is a circumstance that is important to solve because we want to be able to celebrate our values in a way that's consistent with what this league and what our clubs and what our fans believe in. But we have to find that solution, as Brian said, that is a collaboration between all groups involved. I'm an ECS member, right? I'm also an employee of Seattle Sounders FC, which is a proud member of Major League Soccer. This is a super complicated landscape to be in, but the reality of the situation is that there's really good people that are committed to having productive dialogue and moving this forward. And next week's another opportunity to take some steps.
I guess that's what I mean, though, is that not necessarily like y'all say that that the values are the same.
Yeah.
But the hard line is, having this flag. So is the needle moved either way on that? Because that seems like a hard line is with MLS and with ECS is that, they want to be able to show this flag and what it represents.
Yeah, and if the question is Sounders are Sounders in a place to change whether the Iron Front is allowed in CenturyLink Field? Currently, based on the rules of Major League Soccer and the fan code of conduct, that is not a sign that is allowed in any Major League Soccer venue.
Is this meeting next week? Is there something planned after that? I'm just kind of trying to figure out what the procedure is going forward. You've got this meeting. If let's say nothing is resolved, essentially, what's the next step?
Well, I think from us, because we're not going to be at the table, it's a matter of listening to both groups and understanding what was discussed and where those opportunities to move this conversation forward are. Obviously, we're at home on Wednesday. So there's another opportunity to get our fans in front of our team who's playing pretty darn well right now. And then we're back at home for decision day against Minnesota, which is going to be important.